Hi, I'm Melanie Barr. Welcome to the She Built It Experience with Melanie. You're here because you want to experience the life and business that you crave. Join me as I talk to women who have successfully built it, a career and business that they love. We dive into the topic of how they built it and talk about everything from having the courage to make career leaps to the details of how to lead effectively, create successful teams, implement strategies for growth, and infuse tech innovation. Magic happens when we focus on the part of ourselves and our business that brings us joy. So let's dive in. Gina Lathrum is Managing Director and Brand Warrior for REVELSHINE Wine and Outdoor Intrinsics. She is a marketing leader with a history of working in the consumer goods industry. Gina has been creating and bringing stories to life for as long as she can remember. With an insatiable appetite for the theater and a theater arts degree from Cal State Long Beach, she approaches branding no different than directing a play. Her unconventional process brings a dimension to branding that drives emotion and experience and allows consumers to connect on a personal level. Her approach to consumer products, like characters, have a story to be told. We are looking forward to hearing more of your story today, Gina. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Please tell us about your early career experiences and how they led you to become the managing director of REVELSHINE Wine.
Yeah, it's not a straight line. I think with most women, you graduate college, or if you decide that you're going into a vocation, is that you always think you're going to just take this straight line, and then life happens and kind of loops you around and brings you into places that you never imagined. I was a theater degree from Long Beach State. I was part of a co-founding team at a theater that was one of the longest nonprofit theaters in Los Angeles, and that was phenomenal. I lived in LA at the time. I had a lovely career working for Merv Griffin Productions, which I was really excited about because it brought the theater part to my life and I could make some money and I didn't have to eat top ramen. And then I had a younger brother who's 18 years younger and he really needed some big sister love. And I moved down south to Orange County and I got a job out of necessity because I left my whole life in Los Angeles. It was for an appliance company. And here I had been working and really surrounded myself with passionate people in the theater, working in the production side, and then working for Merv Griffin. And I found myself surrounded by stainless steel boxes. And I didn't know how to click with something that was just so plug it in or power it up, and that's all it is. So my challenge was, for my own sanity, is how do I bring life into my career? And that's where it kind of all started, that if we can create life into stainless steel boxes and have people relate to a kitchen appliance, then I should be doing that no matter where I go, no matter what product it is. So I worked for Fisher & Paykel, an amazing company, New Zealand based, and that was phenomenal. I never thought, again, that I could love a stainless steel box as much as I did when I left.
It's so amazing because just your description just brought it to life.
Right? You feel for it. You fall in love with it. Those appliances became almost like, I guess you want to say, the cornerstones of a stage, because everything you do in a kitchen with appliances is a moment. And I'm really passionate about moments because we're so fast tracked that none of us stop and pause, which is really a great segue into REVELSHINE. But everything in the kitchen, it's about bringing family together. It's about sharing recipes. I used to make lasagna with my grandmother. So that was my challenge. And I became really passionate about those stainless steel boxes. And then I left my career and moved up to Sonoma County to work with a really great friend of mine, Jake Bilbrough, on the glass bottle wine that he has, Limerick Lane. He challenged us to bring to life what he had been thinking about for 2 years, and that was REVELSHINE Wines, which is premium wine in an aluminum bottle. And that was amazing because how do you bring stainless steel to life? You can't see through it. It's not glass. And so here I sit today. I guess the only spine I can say that's pulled me through is my passion for telling stories and moments.
And I've tried the wine. It is lovely. And the packaging is beautiful. And it speaks to the outdoor adventurer.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. It was really one of those challenges of you only have a finite space on a bottle. And trying to take something that is community as REVELSHINE, how do you tell that story and touch all seasons of the year and all environments where REVELSHINE can be enjoyed? and at the same time work with a very, very strong visionary like Jake Bilbrough.
Can you tell us who REVELSHINE was made for?
REVELSHINE was made for wine drinkers and people that experience wine at the premium level. It's been intentionally grown for people that appreciate really good wine. And it's also been created for everyone that wants to enjoy wine and moments outside of a ceiling, where the only ceiling that you can be under is the sky, the stars, the moon, the forest trees. There's nothing above you besides the environment. And if you love outdoors and you love sharing those moments, it's really solving the glass problem, because people like wine, they can't bring glass in those environments.
Such a beautiful picture. You mentioned working for Merv Griffin. How has your early career experiences influenced you as a business leader in what you're doing today?
Wow, that's a really great question. Working for Merv Griffin and his family of companies was really about every voice matters at the table, and being able to not see it only one way, that you have to be open to see it all ways. And I worked on the production side for the event side and movie premieres and concerts and Muhammad Ali anniversary things. In theater, you get a really great idea and you're the director and it's kind of your idea. And you get to take a script and then you get to bring it to life. And it's kind of, that's how it is. But when I worked for the team at Merv Griffin with Mike and Tim, you come to a round table and you really get to hear other people's idea, and it just catapults you passionately into thinking differently. And so sometimes you show up at a table and then you leave with something totally new. And I think that's a really important thought, especially today. There's so much out there to be inspired by, music and social media and some of the great art pieces up in Sonoma County right now. Pianos are on every corner, 30 corners up here, and they're being painted by locals. And it's so inspiring because...
That's great. Yeah, love that.
I saw people doing butterflies on one on my way down to WikiUp last week, and I was so inspired. I pulled over and I stopped, and I just watched her paint. I was thinking, that's a moment. That's REVELSHINE. Everything that's important right now is telling stories and having, I guess, a breath.
You bring up such a good point of collective ideas. It's so important to bring ideas together. And I love how you see deeper into telling a story about a product or about a company.
Yeah, I can't say I always did that. That's hard. It's hard not to have it your way, especially when you think you're so creative. And then I realized that collectively, my ideas are even phenomenal when I pair them with somebody else's really great idea. It's kind of, again, back to REVELSHINE wines. It was really a concept that Jake had forever. He challenged us with, how do you take rivers, oceans, and mountains and put that on a bottle? And we had all kinds of ideas of what that would look like. And then we collaborated into that doodle. I call it the doodle. The front of that bottle is actually a doodle that I have on a piece of paper that was inspired to me by this.
Don't you love that? When you see an idea and it comes together and it crystallizes and it becomes something.
My good friend's daughter made this during the fires that we had up here in Sonoma. It's a beautiful picture of the sunset. There's a beautiful grassy hill, and then the water, and then some sand. And so when I hit the wall on REVELSHINE to find something more creative, I looked at this painting that this girl made me, and I was like, that's it. Sometimes you got to stop looking for things, and you've got to start creating them and just look around your own environment.
So true. And what a beautiful memory of hope and the future after the fires.
And I sent that to her when I sent her parents. I didn't send her. I sent her parents the very first REVELSHINE bottles. And I just wanted them to know that Cadence had inspired me to work with Jake to create that bottle. And
such a good story. Such a good story. Yeah, I love that. Has there been a particular life or business experience that is memorable to you that you carry with you into today?
I can't say that it's as positively passionate. I love living a very fulfilled life as a mom and as a career woman and as a brand maker and a managing director. But when I look back at what's really shaped me for today, it's really granular. It's a mistake I made, and I'll never do it again, but it defines everything that I do now. I was working in the fitness industry, and we were sending this amazing new product down to QVC. And I thought I had it. I had, all the product, I had all the packaging, the merch for the onset stuff, and it's in Florida and it's at 5 a.m. I shipped all the product. I neglected to take the tracking numbers, and it was also the time of the storm, and everything got caught in Tennessee, and we went live on QVC without product.
Oh no. Oh no.
I live that now because it's really shaped details, everything that we do, even outside of careers as parents and as partners. They say the devil is in the details, and it's check it over, think of every single thing. You've got to really make sure you're paying attention.
Thank you for sharing that story, because we're all human. We all make mistakes. It happens. But it's so interesting to learn from, right? To think, okay, I probably wouldn't do that again.
I didn't lose my job, but I had to eat a lot of humble pie for a really long time. But I remember it like it was yesterday.
Right.
I shipped 9 cases of REVELSHINE today to Chicago, and I made sure they're there 3 days early.
Big fan of details myself. I hear you. What gave you the courage to make the leap to become the managing director of REVELSHINE Wine?
It just gave me chills asking me that question. I didn't know I was being courageous at the time. My story is complex. I think I had hit a wall. After 22 years working with Fisher & Paykel, and the pace in Southern Orange County was really affecting my aura. I call it the stoplights. I had spent an hour driving to and from work, which is only 17 miles, and it's myriad of stoplights where it's like, it shouldn't be this hard to do things. I pretty much, honestly, I collapsed mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I just knew I couldn't keep going the same direction I was going. So I took a hiatus to really wrap my head around what was important to me. And obviously, yes, my family, that's always a given, right? My family was really important to me. But I think for the first time in my life, a couple of years ago, I realized that I hadn't made myself important to me. I was the least important person in my life. And I remember somebody said, "What brings you joy?" And I couldn't answer the question. And that's really difficult to admit when I'm surrounded by so much beauty and so much that I'm passionate about. But I sometimes have passion and joy for other things and other people. And I neglected to have joy for myself. So when I made the decision to come up here, I had to do it like a Band-Aid. We were lucky enough to sell our house very, very fast. And I was up here 5 weeks later, part of a really great community, working with Jake and Alexis Bilbrough and the team at Limerick Lane at the time, who are still part of the REVELSHINE family. They brought me joy. The environment brought me joy, that there's a different pace. And that's when the inspiration came back. I felt like I was always inspired in my career at Fisher & Paykel, which was glorious. And I didn't realize what I didn't know until I got away from it. And inspiration came flooding back like somebody had turned on the faucet or knocked over a fire hydrant. Because then it was happening faster than I could create. And I was like, oh my God, I've been dead.
Thank you so much for sharing that story and being vulnerable, because we've all had those moments. We've all had those moments. And it's amazing when you slow down, sometimes you do speed up.
Yes.
And looking at you now and hearing you talk about REVELSHINE and what you do now, you seem like you found your joy and that element and the right place for you to live.
Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful. And I think stopping, REVELSHINE says, take a moment of pause. When I was at Fisher & Paykel, it was about moments with family. I've really took my own advice. Sometimes we don't do that. It's kind of like the airplane. I was helping a lot of other things. I just wasn't helping myself. Mm-hmm. And I've been lucky enough to be inspired. And there's bad days, Melanie. It's not all REVELSHINE moments. Mm-hmm. It's not fun, but it doesn't break me.
Right.
It doesn't make me yell at my kids because they wanted grape juice after I asked them 5 times and now I put everything away, right?
Right.
Where you're like, grape juice?
We've been there. We've all been there.
Really?
Yes.
We've just done all this. I gave you orange juice and you said you didn't want, it's like, now you want grape juice.
Right.
So
right.
I'm a little bit more even keeled, and I'm not sweating the small stuff, which is, somebody used to tell me that all the time. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. I totally know what it means now.
Right. You talked about details and the devil being in the details and lists. What is your strategy for management, for staying on task to accomplish what you set out to do, as well as motivating your teams and those around you?
Ooh, this is a great question, because I'm honestly struggling with this right now. because I'm a little bit all things to all people. REVELSHINE, we're lucky enough to be working with amazing people, all type A entrepreneurs, co-founders, and amazing people in their own arenas. But as I was talking to you earlier before this call, if an order comes in right now, because we just launched this week, I've got to make sure that it transfers through, that the money's getting to the bank, that the order's dropping, that somebody can ship it. And I'm doing all of that because it's what you do when you are owning and starting a company and you don't mind doing it, right?
It's a business baby.
It's the business baby. As a founder, that's what you do. So that 10 years from now, you have empathy and sympathy for those that are doing it later in life. And you know how long it takes, truthfully.
And you've put together the processes and you've put all of those things in place, which takes time.
So the successful part of that is making sure that you're moving the ball down the field. You've got to go forward. Don't go lateral. You're never going to get anywhere. So finish one thing. Like today, 300 bottles of wines went out. They're done. Tonight, I will work on this and I will finish it. And motivating my team is really about making sure that collectively we know where we're going. We know the vision, and don't be afraid to fail. You know, this is wines. We're not saving lives. We are not rescuing. We are not surgeons. And thank God that we really respect and love people who do things that are so monumental. I can't even complain about a bad day.
So true.
Keep it in perspective. It doesn't all have to be done on one day.
Right. And also making sure people and teams are doing the things that they love to do.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I've just started to go through my day and think, okay, who could help me do this? That would say, take a task that maybe I find a bit tedious and say, hey, this is something I love to do, to get that piece off of our plates or to make your day flow easier.
That's the truth of it. I think people work more passionately and more attentively and more intentionally when they're working on things that excites them. And it gets done more timely, more efficiently. And you can tell when people don't. Jake said the other day, as we're continuing to expand and we've got great people on the team now, that I don't have to be all things to all people. And he's like, which parts of this do you want? And I was like, oh my gosh, I've never been asked that. Because
in the
past year and a half, it's only been me. My wonderful, wonderful friend, Caitlin, who has towed the line for Jake and I, but I haven't been asked that question for all of REVELSHINE. So it's a hard question now because I don't want to let things go, but I know I should. I love it all, but do I? You know, it's like pros and cons list. My dad used to say, make a pro and con list. And I used to go, oh, that drives me crazy, but it works.
So true. And when you're in your zone, you wake up and you're just motivated to do it. You know, and the beautiful thing is we all like doing different things.
Yeah.
As humans, we all have an interest in different things. Putting those people in the places to do those things and putting you in the position where you get up every day and do what you love and you're able to focus on that is only going to make the company grow faster.
Yeah. And I love learning from people that have specializations.
How has your business shifted over the last year? And I don't know when exactly you launched, but I know it wasn't that long ago. And what obstacles have you been able to overcome and what successes have you had?
We were set and ready to launch REVELSHINE in a big way in the spring of 2020. We were just getting ready to turn the website on, and then my kids got sent home from school on March 13th because of this 2 weeks flatten the curve. So we paused, and then we paused, and then it seemed insensitive, and then the fires happened again up here in Sonoma County, and it would be really insensitive. And we really had to say, we've got to shift. COVID has created, unfortunately, they've grounded everybody in their homes. And this is an outdoor brand. And we're fearful. So we can't be shipping consumables because people were fearful of what can come in the mail and what can transmit through the mail. And we're a DTC brand. So we paused and we waited for that little window in the summer. There was a little window in June or July that kind of lifted some of the restrictions, in which we turned on the website, made some quick, easy announcements, and watched it go. And the feedback from the consumers who were purchasing, which is really a blessing, we were able to get really great feedback with one-on-ones and surveys and asking people what they thought of the wines and what they would do different and was this important. So it helped us pivot, do some beta testing. And then at the same time, It allowed us to increase our team and really honed in on who our outdoor adult consumer was, so that we, when we launch now, which is actually this week, we're up to 8,000 cases, from 640 cases last year to 8,000 right now.
So great.
Yeah, we're being asked to be in all kinds of channels that we kind of knew would want it. We just didn't know it would be received so well. So hospitality, swimming pools and hotels, golf courses, country clubs, anywhere that the environment doesn't allow glass is now becoming a distribution channel for us. COVID has given us another opportunity to kind of, again, you have to be able to redefine. You don't lose your vision, but you have to be able to pivot. So it's really helped us say, okay, this was a huge obstacle. How do we make the best of it? We have to listen, because we don't know it all, right? So we listened during the 2020 year, and we made the right decisions so that when we launched this year, we were a little bit more sure-footed. But I feel like REVELSHINE Wines and what we're doing right now is going to be far more successful because of COVID than what we would have done in March of 2020.
So interesting, because when you think about a launch, sometimes it's like, oh, there's never a right time. But for you and for REVELSHINE, you had to wait for that right time. And with everyone going out and buying RVs and traveling, I could see that as also another avenue. Take wine on your trips. Because all of my friends went out and bought them to travel around the country.
Yes. Part of that, again, there's never a great time to launch. With wine, you get a period. A wine like REVELSHINE is not meant to be stored. It's not a library wine. REVELSHINE is about the moments you're about to have. There's like 8 of us and a 30-acre farm. So it was like, well, we all can't drink 640 cases of wine. Maybe we could have during COVID. I don't know. Maybe I did.
Right? Maybe we all did.
So we had to go. It was kind of like, we got to go. And thank God we did. Every industry right now, like I said, we're really lucky. These trek packages, there's some really great boutique hotels around that, especially the west side, west of the Rockies, that really do these pack in, pack out trips, that they want to be able to get people on mountain bikes. And it's like a 3-day thing. And they have REVELSHINE as the wines for their dinners around the campfire. And I mean, it just exploded with ideas.
Really great.
Yeah.
Love that. Magic happens when we focus on the part of ourselves and our business that brings us joy, as we've talked about a lot today. What is one tip that you can leave with us about how you find and live your joy?
I think joy is everywhere. When I was asked that question I mentioned earlier, what brings you joy? My state of mind at that moment was, it's something that I'm not doing, right? There's got to be something. I don't knit. I don't surf. There's something I'm not doing. So that's why I don't have joy. That's a reframe. Right? The reframe is, there's joy in everything. Just open your eyes to see it and pause. I make homemade dog food for my dog because she's a princess. It was a task. It was an arduous task to boil all this and do the rice and cut up the meat and do the carrots. And I was just like, I should just feed you normal dog food and let you itch all over. It's fun. I put on really great singer-songwriter music, and I find joy in making dog food. It's not a task. It's a frame of mind,
I love that. There's joy in everything. You just have to find it.
You do. And be willing to accept it. When I was in a different life, 300 miles south of where I live right now, I couldn't have accepted it. I was sitting at red lights. I was going 5 feet and stopping and 5 feet and stopping. I was so caught up at holding my hands at 10 and 2, trying to go somewhere, that I had to loosen up on the wheel and just say, you know what? I'll get there when I get there. Because what I didn't realize, if I look to the right, there's something I hadn't seen before off the 55 or somewhere. Sometimes it's right there. You just got to let go and look for it.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. Thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Can you please share with us how and where we can find you?
You can find me living a lovely life up in Windsor, California. I'm a mom and I have 2 boys, 3 pets. You can find me on Instagram at Gina1870, and I'm on LinkedIn. More importantly, wherever you find REVELSHINE Wines, you will find me. And Instagram and Facebook for REVELSHINE. pretty spectacular. The moments we're creating is at REVELSHINE for both Facebook and Instagram. And I am looking forward to anybody and everybody that's having a moment, whether it's with REVELSHINE or just a moment, because we can all use a little joy as a community, share together. Thank you, Melanie, for having me. I mean, it's always great to talk to you.
If you are new to She Built It, we'd love for you to join us. We offer community memberships, masterminds, innovative virtual events, and meaningful connections to entrepreneurs and corporate leaders. Please also check out our She Built It shop, curated products from women-owned businesses who put their heart and soul into their beautiful and innovative products. We offer She Built It business consulting and the She Built It blog. Thank you to everyone around the world who joined today. Thank you to my editor, Rich Streffolino. Please download and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, together, let's let nothing stop us from experiencing the life that we crave.